Nice.
Stu, love and light, y'all. Welcome to the Black View. You are so special to be on here right now, and we are grateful to have you here. All that said, I am your host, Shariso, and everybody else, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I am Minister Raheem Kasset, aka legendary sax preacher.
I heard that I am.
I am Brenda Robinson.
She just made it so. I am Minister Taharka J. Shakur, one of our co-hosts. They didn't say they were co-hosts as well. That's just the sax preacher and Brenda Robinson.
Yeah.
They see us.
He's gonna be co-host.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna let them be that all day long.
Most definitely. So, welcome to the place where you get a chance to hear some views from our perspective, the Black view. All
Yes.
right. With that said, you got two so-called millennials. Y'all like that word. And then we got two so-called baby boomers. All that said, we have wonderful guests that come on. Today we got some special surprises for you. And we want you guys to tell a friend to tune in. All that said, y'all ready to get into it? Cool. What we talking about?
Co-host.
R. Kelly's new album.
R. Kelly's new album.
I didn't know about it, did you?
Oh, R. Kelly got it. Oh.
He put it out and Apple dropped it, took it off the air and everything, but all the celebrities and everybody buying it and picking it up. He's beginning to make money. One of the main songs on there is called I Admit It.
I admit
That's
it.
exactly what it's the title.
So he kind of capitalizing on his own
That could be a good-
situation.
Well, got to hear the lyrics. I haven't heard the lyrics. Maybe you don't know what he's admitting.
Well, the whole album is called
What's the name
I
of
Admit
the
It.
album?
The album is called I Admit It.
Okay.
Are there songs that reference to him admitting it?
But now remember now he's still
Right,
behind.
The only person who
Mm.
so far knew about the album was the minister.
See, y'all call me baby boomer, but I'm booming.
Hey, no, that's
Baby,
true.
you went back.
Well, according to what I'm saying, the album was leaked. It wasn't supposed to come out.
Oh,
It was
So it was
unauthorized. It was an unauthorized
Like the tape.
release. Mhm.
or tapes.
Oh,
The 13-track set called I
Mhm.
Admit was released online Friday.
You know, dealing with what Kanye talking about. Who is this person that get the nerve to say it was unauthorized?
Okay, that's
the
good.
problem is.
Mhm.
Well,
in the sports industry, unless it was unauthorized by
it was unauthorized by him,
R. Kelly
according to what his lawyer said. He says the single lawyer adds that R. Kelly's masters was stolen and that songs are often uploaded to platforms like YouTube without his approval.
Wow.
That's different.
It's possible.
Oh, that's possible. Absolutely.
Yeah, his lawyer is saying he didn't want it to be released, and somebody else released it without his permission.
What's going on?
Most definitely. I kind of wanted to talk about something. I don't know if you guys are okay with that. How do y'all feel about the Brittany Griner situation?
Oh, that was one of the other things we just was talking about earlier. Then we
Are you?
said we was
Okay.
gonna like to have a conversation. But what side of it are you more specifically wanting to talk about? Because
Mhm.
what we were looking at is who she was traded for.
Mhm.
And being like, did we just trade a
Yeah.
basketball star for a known criminal? Like,
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
wow.
pretty unsettling.
And guess what? Did y'all know that there was a actual military Marine that was locked up over there that's still over there. But
Mhm.
they overrode that and they chose to get her out and be one of their own soldiers, still captive over
Wow.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really
Her
unsettling.
opinion, think that it's something behind that,
Yeah.
it's bigger than her.
It feels like that.
Yeah,
It
it
feels
does.
like that to me.
Yeah, it's bigger than her. It's
It
not-
does.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of times when, we strongly urge people to be critical thinkers.
Have you heard her
Um,
speak?
Have I heard her speak? Well, I heard her speak briefly on the plane. I think that's where she was on. I don't know if that was a plane or what. Yeah. So yeah, I heard that, but I didn't hear anything else.
She sounds like a guy.
Oh well, that part. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
That was your point.
That was my first time hearing her speak. Okay, see, I was wondering if you were going there.
Well, my voice is hoarse, so I sound like
Horse young lady.
I'm used to having a low register. Sometimes I get a lower voice because I see.
Seems like a young.
With that said, I did hear that, and I was like, okay. I was wondering if you were going. I thought you.
I never heard her.
Yeah, I had.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure she's the man in their relationship.
Yeah.
I'm only saying that because her wife, she's married. She has a
The
wife.
views and opinions are that of every individual in this.
Yeah, they are opinion.
Ours. He owns that.
The black hand side.
What did you say about that?
The black hand side.
What about that?
That's our views. The views.
Oh yeah.
On that.
True that.
Black
True
man
that.
side, not
Most definitely. With that said, back to the critical thinking part.
well, I really wanted to see on the level when we talk about them releasing certain people from prison or exchanging certain people and how this government does it and what they call wins for their administration.
Mhm.
Trump had his prison release wins, and every president has somebody who they say they release. But let's look at the people who they haven't released that they could release here in America that should have been released. We talk about the legalization of marijuana happening in Chicago.
Right.
But how many of our brothers and sisters are still locked up on trumped up charges dealing with marijuana? Now we got
Tell me.
dispensaries all over Chicago.
Chicago.
It being legal, now you can get pulled over and it's a blunt in your car. They're not going to arrest you. But if it's pounds of weed, then they maybe arrest you. But we talk about back in the day, the police will pull you over. They see a blunt, you going to jail. Then they up in the charges of what you're going to jail for. And now we have many young people between the ages of 18 and 25 who has a record that deals with marijuana. So are they going to talk about nationally, especially since they're now pushing nationally to legalize recreational marijuana? Are they going to nationally then release all of the people
Absolutely.
who have these charges dealing with marijuana?
Isn't that being talked about though?
It's a big conversation that's happening.
I mean, but you have to talk first. I mean,
It's a big conversation.
Languishing in jail, watching the white kid prosper off of what they did and got put in jail.
Well, we can look at the same thing. That's the history that we see with this American government. We go back to prohibition, where liquor was illegal to have, and there was a plethora of people who got arrested for bootlegging alcohol.
Yeah,
Did
absolutely.
those people get released once? Well, certain people did, but then I'm pretty sure there's gonna be certain people who gets released now.
Right.
But we won't be released. I'm pretty sure the bootleggers of the past, black people who was bootlegging liquor, or we'll go into the lottery. They made the lottery illegal. You know what I'm talking about? See, when we talk about what did we call it before they called it
I think it was
policy. Thank you. They locked up so many of us for policy, shut it down, and then reopened it up as the lottery. The exact same thing. All of those people were still in jail.
They just say to say that black people give them ideas and then they
Mhm.
then they run with it, and then we don't. We can't.
Exactly what happened.
Well,
And the lottery the money from the lottery was supposed to go toward education.
Right. To see
Look it up online. It's called Policy Kings, and
Absolutely.
I think it has one of my grand uncles or step grand uncles in that. So yeah, definitely, y'all. You know, a lot of history to delve into. Don't forget history, how important it is. Sankofa, understand what happened in the past in order to understand what's happening in the present. You know, I also wanted to talk about Kanye and Kyrie Irving. I don't know if we're gonna get into that at some point, but
You
I mean, it's important. It's important. I know. I mean, like, y'all, it's a lot of things going on right now. Yeah, yeah. I would like to transition into that. In the meantime, between time, if y'all have anything that y'all want to comment on the Brittany Griner situation, we want to hear from y'all. So please do that. All that said, let's get into Kanye West and Kyrie Irving. But before we
Did we share a little bit of that?
Last little bit.
did you? Okay.
In the last
Well, you know, I wasn't there, so you know, with all that said, I wasn't here rather.
This stuff.
Most definitely, and I definitely have a opinion I would like to give about that. Now, this is what I really appreciate. There's this platform, and I could plug it, or you know, we'll get into that later, where someone had kind of delved into that. It says a signal detect, no signal detected. Not quite sure what that is. As long as y'all can hear me, I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, we keep going.
All that said, the perspective was they are probably being Judas.
Oh,
That would be Kyrie Irving and Kanye West.
never heard that perspective.
I appreciated the perspective, and this is why. Because y'all seen Judas and the Black Messiah.
I was gonna talk about that.
Uh-huh. And as you see, you know, we are living in a time right now where there's a lot of things shifting. There's a lot of truths coming into play. You know, a lot of people are awakening to certain realities. There are realities that a lot of people can't even fathom. Nonetheless, regardless of who knows it or not, you know, there is people like Kanye West and Kyrie Irving who serve as a certain type of figure within pop culture. So because they have that lure to have people listen to them, people listen to them, people follow whatever is being said and told to them, even if it's little truths and not enough of the truth. And so, because of that, they are also being made examples of. Because think about it, Kanye West lost all that money. Kyrie Irving, basically, you know, and they throw around this word of anti-Semitic. We're not gonna get too much into that because, you know, a lot of people kind of understand what some people's views are of that term per se. Nonetheless, I'll say this back to that critical thinking. Believe half of what you see, not even half of what you see, believe a little of what you see, and really try to like tap into your spirit, your ruach, as I would say, your ruach hakodesh. And there's so many words, so many etymologies of so much, and I have a respect for wherever someone comes from when it comes to spirit, because everyone has their connection and they have their reasons why. But we have to be able to understand that we have been built within a Eurocentric society. So if we kind of tap out of that a little bit, I think you might be able to download some things that make more sense to where your essence come from, opposed to what you think it should be because of this, that, and another. And a lot of fear mongering has been going on within our communities. And because of that, it makes people less critical thinkers and more of sheep to be able to let anything come their way because their fellow, you know, people, you know, think a certain type of way or experience a certain type of thing. All that said, again, back to the respect. There's a respect to where people come from in spirit, but unfortunately, in society, there's not a respect of that. Society wants you to think one way and not the other. And if you think certain ways or out the box, you get made an example of per se. So that should tell you a lot about what type of world we're living in and the times we're living in and why it's so important that we you know, we tap into spirit and to the most high.
Well, it was something you said, and I really wanted to know the mindset.
I want to go back to that too.
Well, I think we might be going to the same person,
I love
same
that.
place. Is who were they saying that Kyrie and Kanye was a Judas to?
Oh,
Right.
to the oh sure.
So were they our Judas or was they their Judas? When I say that, we'll talk about in the NBA, was he the NBA corporate commissioner's Judas to go against what the commissioner has been doing, or was Kanye West the Judas to the music industry that he is a part of, or was those both Judases for us? Because we go back to when Colin Kaepernick got on his knee, and everybody was crucifying him, and you had black people crucifying him for what he did, and I'm pretty sure somebody might have then, even though Judas and the Black Messiah wasn't out, was calling him a Judas. But even and I like somebody made a point. I was for those who don't know, December 4th, 1969 was when we lost Chairman Fred Hampton, which is what the movie was based off of.
Right.
And so one of the points that his son made at the event that I was at, he said most people prefer the Judas. There wouldn't even the movie wouldn't, because they was like, why wasn't Chairman Fred Hampton the focus of the movie? Why was it given from the perspective of the Judas? Because this world praises the Judases. We wouldn't even have Jesus in the Bible, right? The point that they made, Jesus wouldn't even be in the Bible or talked about if it wasn't for Judas. If it wasn't for what Judas did. So again, we wouldn't even be having certain conversations. See, I let them be Judas, you know what I'm saying? Because it's helping us to have certain conversations that most people won't have. We were having a conversation earlier in our minister study. Dealing a lot with the Messiah and such, but what I really want to harper on is when we look at what this world is going through and how when a messenger, someone on the level of Kanye West, how we've had certain people call out the Jews as people are worried about saying, or the Semitic, and as you went to, there's so many back and forths about that, but according to the definition that they give, Semitic people are Arabs and on down. So when we are told that that Kanye West is anti-Semitic, but then we don't see how this world is anti-Black. It is because the world is anti-Black, right? We don't acknowledge that as a people,
right?
That it seems that we get on the bandwagon that now, if you say this one person, I'm pretty sure that got shared multiple times by whatever site you was on, that Kanye West is now this Judas. There was an interview because one, I looked at who was running for mayor, but I'm pretty sure if you was to pull up who's running for president, you'll get another list. And Kanye West is one of those people. Well, let me give him his proper name that he goes by now. Ye is running for president. And a lot of things that people are saying that even with what he just did and doing this big move and losing all these contracts and going from a billionaire to just a multimillionaire, because he's not broke. It's a multimillionaire. None of us here. He got 1 million. And he got multiple. You get what I'm saying? He got 400 millions of them. And I love the statement that he said. I know I mentioned it in our last show, but I don't want to go away from it because it's prevalent still. He said when Moses lived with Pharaoh, he lived amongst the high houses, and God presented him a choice. Right. And it came when he defended that person and ended up killing the person, the overseer. And then he left and ran into the wilderness. Because he didn't have to help that brother. He made a choice in that moment. He'd been seeing these people being beaten his whole life. But yet in that moment, he decided that he was going to do something about it. That's what Kanye West did.
I wanted to comment on something.
He said, Moses had a choice, and that's the same choice I had. He said, I was living amongst Pharaoh. He said, I could have did it, but when God put something on your heart to do, he said, you got to do it. He said, and
that's what I believe in. And that's why, okay, so back to why I appreciated that perspective, because it made me start thinking of this a little bit differently. Not that I'm in any way attacking Kanye or Kyrie, because I'm grateful for any type of truths per se, or any type of awakening happen, however it may happen, because people are being used. People have only so much control. And I do believe that the Most High Yah works in mysterious ways. And, we don't quite know how evil works too. They correlate in some type of way. But where I'm coming from is, okay, so back to the question you had. So they're saying of our people.
Yeah.
Pretty much that our people have just celebrity worship. Celebrity worship. And the celebrity worship is, I look to you as someone that's someone to worship because you have the money or the resources or the power, the person that I want to become. And a lot of people live that type of life and that type of mentality and don't realize how much they're worshiping certain people. This goes for there are worship with all types of people. He also mentioned pastors and things, but that's just saying that hey, we got to have that fear. How much are we tapping into our own our own connection, and it's okay to get used for the right things, as he mentioned. But sometimes some people are being used for the right things for the wrong reasons, if that makes sense, and not giving the whole truth. They give the partial amounts of it, and making it out to be the truth.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying? And it's just difficult. Yeah. Definitely.
He said mostly everything, so I just know.
Before
I just want to.
I knew where we was going.
you got a unspoken unity, y'all. This brotherhood right here.
Well,
It basically like
almost
almost
our brothers. They got a
yeah, they're brotherhood. Yeah.
so they don't talk the same talk. Walk
Be
the
on the
same
same
walk.
page.
Yeah. Us-
I mean, his page sometimes.
yeah.
The route I'm going is a different route, but it's basically the same. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to make it a little clearer.
Absolutely.
A little what?
A little
Clearer.
And what I'm saying
Mhm.
is, we all agree that Kanye struck terror
Mm-hmm.
in the hearts of those people
Mm-hmm.
that he was exposing.
Right.
And by doing so, it freed him up. didn't it?
Well, one
Yeah.
second, Minister. I think I want to say this live.
What?
I'm gonna wait for it to run across the screen one more time.
yeah.
There we go. It says, we apologize that social media, I think it's because I said the Jew word, sites have blocked our video and are only showing the audio to come through. We are recording this show and we'll post this show later tonight with video. You can
Right.
you can continue, sir.
Mhm.
So you terrorized a people who live lavishly
Mm-hmm.
off of our artists,
Mhm.
masters, things like that,
Mm-hmm.
and even in the sports world, where they sit in high booths up top and watch their Negroes run back and forth for the
Mhm,
basketball or football,
Mm-hmm.
chasing each other,
Mhm.
and knocking each other out and knocking them down. But yet, Kanye was able to gain control
Mm.
of all that was actually his.
Most definitely.
And so one man's terrorist can be another person's freedom fighter.
Yeah, yeah.
And so when you see a person who made it into the slave master's house, come out into the field and tell you all the things that you didn't know that the slave master was doing to you when you thought that you had it going pretty good,
Mm.
then you can't say that that person is a Judas at all, because he
Yeah.
gave you some information you didn't know that could even free you. You had Nat Turner.
But I'm pretty sure
One slave.
love that you went to that because I'm pretty sure those people
Yes.
called him a Judas.
Since I
Makes
didn't even know
sense.
he was Nat Turner.
Hey,
And so I had a lecture, and
Mhm.
it was entitled, "You Can't Con Yay."
Stop. Stop it. Did you think of that?
No, that lecture, man, that lecture was nice too.
Oh man.
And I was showing how he had told us that if you really want to expose the enemy,
Mm.
you got to first build up some money and
Mhm.
relationships with him,
Mm-hmm.
then bust him out. Because he had 10 billion, so he had to sacrifice X amount of billion, but he wound up with 400 million, but he was free now
Mm-hmm.
to sell his stuff on the same footing as any other fashion designer or whatever, without someone being over him. He can now go to manufacturers and say, make me this gym shoe and put my name on it. He don't have to go to Nike. He don't have to go to Adidas. And he can say, put my name, yay, on my shirts and all. And he don't have to go tell somebody else, would you please help me sign.
He
the
ain't worried about no
contract."
Yeezus
So
sandals no more. He want the Ye
He-
sandals now.
he-
And no money is worth your freedom.
Man,
Mm-hmm.
challenge
Mm-hmm.
other Black men and women who ain't free
Mm-hmm.
to leave master.
Yeah, hallelujah. There's no amount of money that's worth your freedom.
I even think he's gonna use his presidential campaign to do something that I hope he does. right? A lot of people don't know that Kanye West even said it himself that that land that he's been buying, you know, he's been buying a whole lot of land in America in the background. He still owns, and they didn't take none of that land from him because he owned that land. And he talked about how that he was gonna create black towns in these little different things. So I'm hoping that he does, right? And Kanye, hopefully we got Sister Africa can send you this little clip. Hopefully she can send you this little clip.
Kanye,
Is that he uses this platform to get Black America to separate from white America. And the reason why I say that because he's mentioned that before. Seeing that there needs to be a separation, and I when Bush was in office, he made those they never cared about us and was like that Bush hate Black people kind of statement that he's been building that platform to get that having that celebrityism, celebrity, that he could then be like, hey y'all, I showed y'all that this world don't care about us. I got rich in their world, became a billionaire in their world, and they still showed us we were still niggas. Didn't y'all hear what my homie Jay-Z said about us? Now, do we want to build Black America now?
Excuse me. Still N-word.
Still N-word, I'm sorry.
Oh, too late. Y'all both said it.
You know,
Yeah.
you gotta beat. You
Yeah.
gotta beat.
Listen,
These are niggas, man.
Beat the alpha.
But back to when I said we love Kanye. Look, this Chicago, so obviously we're gonna like do
Oh, yeah,
our
that's
best to support the brethren because, man, the wonders of things that he's done, like it's a beautiful thing to see, especially when we know how close Chicago is to our hearts.
Yeah.
And the people coming out of it, it's the Mecca. It has so much
Yeah.
phenomenal spiritual energy and people. So of course Kanye was going to be a force to be reckoned with in the industry.
Mhm.
The only reason why I brought up that subject is I knew it'd be an interesting
Yeah.
topic to delve into.
Yes.
But I'm not saying I agree. Okay, with all that said,
Mhm.
the views and opinions.
It's true.
Put it out there because unfortunately in platforms as such, sometimes people they don't listen. But I'm not saying y'all not doing that. We thank y'all for those who are paying attention and really taking the time to really hear our views and standpoints. That said, Miss Brenda, what you gotta say, darling? What you gotta say?
Well, the Kanye stuff, I don't.
Yes.
I heard.
I'd like to know.
I heard.
You only defend women.
I'd like to know.
So you just make some things that go. And I'm just gonna ignore that comment. But I've had a conversation with people, and I admit I don't like to get political, and you know, some things I just kind of leave alone. I just say a prayer and I do what I'm going to do to help out situations, but I don't talk too
Hallelujah.
much on them. But over our weekend, girls' weekend, we talked about Deion Sanders.
Mhm.
They got another name for him, right?
What they call him? Oh,
Prime
prime time. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So we talked about the situation with him leaving Jackson State and this $5 million, I think
He
took
left Jackson
to get or something.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
even without me knowing the whole gist of it,
Yes.
all I could see was, and this is just me, and I don't know what he's doing, but
Mhm.
I see that he was leaving, like they want him to stay there because Jackson State came up, right? With him there.
Mhm.
So they're saying, so one of the opponents was like that he did something, now he's leaving them and they need him and he needs to stay there and you know, and people feel like that.
Mhm.
And I believe, like, you know, we got our own views
Mhm.
that, and I disagreed with that he has to stay because he came, because that's to me, and like I said, I don't know the whole story of it,
Right.
but to me, if I come in and help you, I bring my resources, I do whatever I can to help you, then I get an opportunity to make $5 million.
Mm-hmm.
I helped you, I love you,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go make this $5
It's
million.
time to help yourself.
Because guess what? I can help you a little bit more with $5 million.
Exactly.
I mean, that's just how I see it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, like I said, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
Do you agree with me? Because that's really rare. Because you touch my hand. Thank you. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah.
I was going to say that. I was going to say.
In case you guys haven't noticed, they have a funny rivalry that we just love to watch. It's innocent, but it is pretty funny to watch.
This is called baby boomerism.
Absolutely. Baby boomerism.
Well, to be honest, that the minister did make a good point. That if she don't just go, you don't see how she be hitting me under the table.
They be
So
boomerang.
he might have a point about how her statements deal with attacking men. Because literally, she attacked Deion Sanders. She said he was wrong for the took. I don't know if y'all caught that. No. She said maybe he shouldn't have did that. Yeah, the money was there. But
You reach it to her. I'm gonna have to.
I'll tell you why I agree. I'll tell you why I agree.
Whatever.
No, I'm gonna tell you why I agree with him. And that's because of how most Black people are alienated when we try to advance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it only slows us down and make us more, again, I have to use the term slave-like.
Mm-hmm.
It's like any other race or something can advance on their jobs, leave that position, get a betterment, and leave that school and be a professor over here at that school and whatever. Why is it every time Blacks get somewhere and be successful, they stuck there?
They should stay.
They
Stay.
That really, I'm so glad that you said that.
That makes sense
Mm-hmm.
Makes
for us to
sense.
think like that.
I'm so glad you
And
said
that's
that.
why I agree with you.
Okay,
Because
because-
they can't get out of that.
And it's very unfortunate that people think like that because a lot of people are afraid of success because of that.
Because they say
Because there's so many people that feel like you owe them something or you owe them your. And here's the thing.
Yeah,
reality
that
speaking-
was it. That they
Yeah.
think that because I guess I don't know. It seems as though he promised them something before he came or something, or I don't know if he promised to
Okay.
stay though. You know what I'm saying? Whatever
Okay.
the promise was. I mean, if I promise to love you forever, and then you do something to me, and then I don't love you anymore.
Mhm.
I'll say you're forever now.
And that's a good point. All that said, back to what you said, again, we don't know the whole story. We don't know.
you know,
For those of you that
that's why I read fast.
appreciate that, that's great. Sorry, check.
Come on.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a check. And
Y'all didn't say it. Y'all typically say it.
well, let's do a reintroduction. I'm Sherry Soda, host. This is Tahaka, Minister Tahaka Shakur, the co-host. And I know this Brenda Robinson
The co-host.
and the one and only Sax Preacham,
The co-host.
also known as Minister Ryan.
Now we get you back.
Let's say y'all, we just having a little fun, but please tell us the facts you don't find.
No, it's not the facts, it's the story. So why people are angry at him. Back in 2020, he made a promise to help HBCUs get on the map. That's what the thing. Helping historically Black colleges, because you know you will never see a HBCU in the Big Ten arena really competing on the national level in football. None of our schools have ever
I
been
did
there.
not know that.
That's what they. And he was only making $300,000 at this Black school.
Mm-hmm.
The University of Colorado is a predominantly white university, and so that's what people are mad. He made this promise to Black schools to the whole historical. Yeah, and they called him.
That's what
another predominantly Black.
They wouldn't been mad at him if he, like, let's say he left Jackson State and then went to Howard and helped the Howard football team actually compete because Howard don't compete.
Here's the thing, guys, and this goes back to
You never heard Howard.
just celebrate. So like celebrityism for sure. I celebrate our wins.
Mm.
We have to celebrate our wins as people.
I mean, I think he's gonna help them out, though. I think he can still
How and
What?
help who?
Mm.
Because
That's HBCUs.
he now works for a predominantly white university, and one thing we have to understand is when we get in their world, we don't help our world no more.
So you really think he's gonna be over there and not help?
The only thing he gonna help is their school get top-rate high school football players that's Black.
Okay.
More Black kids are gonna go to the University of Colorado instead of going to HBCUs where they might have thought, I can get coached
Okay.
by Prime at Jackson State.
I mean, yes, and with that said, that's an idea that will happen, but at the same
That's a
time, that's
view.
still an idea and it's a view. Yes, true that.
Sure.
Not saying it will happen because I know somebody gonna go, but at the same time, back to celebrating wins. This is okay. Trust me, I believe in. I'm very unorthodox.
Okay.
I'm very unorthodox.
What he did.
The whole reason I haven't signed any contract with labels that have came my way is because there's thoughts that I be having about different levels of selling out, different things that
Let's talk.
Yeah, we will definitely talk about that.
Too.
Oh, I would love to talk about that to you. All that said, y'all, the reason why I mentioned that is because this world is intricate. There are a lot of things when we think of people, right? And they're living their own individual life. They have decisions that they have to make. And people take these things extremely personal, but they have not the whole facts of why people choose to do certain things, who he might be connected to. But it is good to hold ourselves accountable and say, hey, we got to do better for each other and got to focus in our communities, our schools. And when you make a promise, you make a promise. If you can't do it, don't make the promise. I believe in that. But him getting $5 million, he might need that because Deion Sanders, I'm sorry, y'all. I mean, I know his name gets thrown around, but not many people know really who he is in our younger generation. And I'm not quite sure what he's making right now. $5 million is not a lot of money to a lot of celebrities. So he might not be, financially getting it like that for the type of lifestyle he might be trying to sustain. I'm not saying you should sell out for any amount of money, but I'm not calling him a sellout either because I don't quite know. But I don't know all the situation.
Right.
Obviously, the schools are people that are mad at him. Y'all feel the way you do for a reason. You're entitled to your opinion.
I mean, I understand that to a
Mhm.
point, and I guess I'm just thinking. My view is, say I get $5 million,
Yeah.
but I go over there to get it
Uh-huh.
over there at the all
Yeah,
white.
we know what you're talking about.
I'm going. I know I'm going to come back, and maybe I'm just thinking on that level. I know that I'm getting this so I can help here.
Mhm.
Sometimes you can help, like you said, you don't know people's connections. Sometimes you can help. You can put stuff back over there. You can still help the HBCUs some way or
Yes,
another.
yes. Mhm.
But to be held to their thing, because everybody in HBCU might not even like him, might not even care
Right.
what he said. But now there are some people who is on that bandwagon
Mhm.
because it's controversial and it's you hear what Deion Sanders did, so
Absolutely.
we get on that. We get
Yeah,
on that without
absolutely.
even knowing the
And
issue.
that tends to happen. Absolutely. I just want to make sure I acknowledge that. It says to call in, or if you have a question or you want to make a statement, call 773-234-8558. Again, that's 773-234-8558. We want to hear from y'all. All right. And just know that if you are not seeing us right now for any reason, don't worry. We'll post this and you'll be able to see it. I don't know if we want to get into something else, y'all. Thank you, Brenda, for that because that's important to talk about.
Pretty good insight.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just so weird though. See, do you know that if I was to move into an affluent community based on my history of an activist,
Mhm.
do you know how many people would call me a sellout just because I
Mm.
left the ghettos of
Right. They want you to
That's
say
a
that.
shame.
and became, went somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so I understand that and how we're going to look at that forever.
Mhm.
That's nothing new. There are some people around us that are young and don't even know our Black history.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
what
they,
a lot of
and they're
Mm.
pursuing a place in society.
Mhm.
And they're not thinking what I call Black conscious.
Mhm. Mhm.
You can be conscious and be woke, but it's something else to be Black conscious.
Mhm.
So everyone is not Black conscious. We have to accept that. But those who are, they are the ones who should be held accountable
Right.
if they make a move in left field and go away from what they pushed and promised and showed us and told us how
Mhm.
things are by exposing what was really going on in the world and what was really holding us down. Those people to whom much is given, much is required or
Tell me
required.
about it.
So you cannot accuse someone who don't know all that we supposed to know.
Right.
You can't say he sold out when he never bought in.
Mhm. Mhm.
So let's think about that sometime.
Very important to think about.
That's right.
Absolutely. Yeah, y'all gotta really let that sink in because a lot of times our views and our opinions come from places that could be unbeknownst to us. Like we don't know all the time where we're coming from when it's not of us. So it could have been the way our parents thought, the way our peers thought. Also, when you really kind of tap in, you get a chance to have your individual connection to what you really feel. But it just takes some, takes some time to really like tap into the love frequency. That's where I come from, y'all. That's me. That's me. My stage name used to be Cherry Love because I was like, look, I got a lot of love. Yeah, I don't know you like cherries, but I
Said that's love share.
oh, like yeah, true that. But it was because
I'll drink
I was
it.
using my name, and then it went to Sherry Love, and it went to Sherry. Oh, whatever.
Yes.
Anyways, here's my point.
He landed on
I knew that love had to be in there. Soul is in there now, but I knew love had to be in there because again, love is a place that I feel like it can help heal a lot of uh, negative thoughts and opinions of others because people are living their own individual experience and we have a right to let them live and figure out how to let them live. And also, if we got to give them some suggestions, there's nothing wrong with that. Pray for them, We forgot we got away
When
from that.
you love people, you do.
Yeah.
I mean, when you truly love them, you even when you disagree with them,
Mhm.
you stay in a loving space. You disagree. I disagree.
Right.
Not you disagree. Yeah. But I can still love you. Huh?
made up.
You did? Okay.
You need to atone.
Yeah. So yeah, I think
Earlier when you said you agree with her, I was like, are you okay with that?
right.
You got that water.
Is that water?
Is that water?
Stays your hand okay.
Y'all know what I'm talking about. No, I'm just kidding. We love them. It's all love. It's a lot of love with all of us. I'm grateful again to have such wonderful co-hosts. We got so much more coming for y'all. So please continue to grow with us as we have this platform. We're about to go into a break, y'all. And we are grateful again for you to be tuning in. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Send us out. We got some more for you. And your girl got a surprise for y'all later. I might want to do a little something for you and tell you about my shows coming up. All that said, we'll be right back. Peace.
Are you feeling fatigued and can barely make it through the day without some type of caffeine?
Are you on a journey of healing your body but need a little help?
Then alkaline water is what you really need.
Alkaline water has many benefits. Alkaline water can help restore pH balance in the body. Consuming beverages such as soda and coffee can make your body acidic.
Did you know that too much acid in your body has been linked to an internet, heart disease, obesity, diabetes, autoimmune disease, chronic pain, and other chronic conditions like gout and arthritis?
Those who use alkaline water have reported increased energy levels, clearer skin, reduction in inflammation, better digestion, and many other health benefits. I've used alkaline water for years, and it's been instrumental in sustaining my health when I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis.
Are you ready to take responsibility for your body's health?
If the answer is yes, then our alkaline water is just what you need. Bring your own bottles. It's only $3 for each gallon. To place an order or for more information, you can reach us at 773-846-3091. Thank you in advance for your support.
Y'all, we getting it together. This is a fairly new platform. I mean, we've been doing this for a while. It's been like on and off for what, a couple years now, maybe, or
I think we done
something like that.
sessions.
Something like that. And time flies. But it's been such a blast, and we've had. I've done seen a lot of different backgrounds and stuff that we have in different spaces. So as we strive to continue to build this platform, we appreciate your support and we want you to keep on supporting this because y'all, this is a beautiful, beautiful experience nonetheless. I'm grateful for everybody's opinions over here. And we want to hear from y'all, all right? All that said, we got more to talk about, huh?
We got a little bit more.
We got more. Where we at with it? Got something you want to share with?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, y'all, man. Well, you know me, I'm not only just a musician,
Mm-hmm.
but I am a minister more. So I believe that spiritually speaking, that I am one of the messengers of the Almighty.
Yeah.
Not the messenger, but one of them.
Mhm.
And you know, when you look at this world and the condition that it's in, you know, sometimes I'm very radical, even as a minister, believe it or not.
Mm.
And I can't help it. Radical is digging down deep into the root of things and digging that root up, because most people don't like that root because it's ugly.
Mhm.
They like what's on the surface. And so
Mhm.
I have to dig down and pull up the ugly truth to what's really
The
going
ugly
on
truth.
in religion and everything. And so, you know, what I really would like to talk about is, do you all believe or feel, if you ever believe in this, that we are in what they call the end time, or some say the last days?
Yeah, from what I've been feeling and also what we've been seeing and what has been, prophesized, it feels like it makes sense because I used to think to myself when I watched different eras of the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, like the most current time we're living in, how's that gonna look in the far future? And even if we're in the end of certain times of a time period, it's like, man, what are we tapping into next?
What's next?
And then looking at how technology is, even though it's been out for a minute. Yeah.
Just real quick.
Yeah. Mhm.
You have sheep in certain parts of the world,
Mhm.
China being one, going around
It's-
clockwise in circles for days. Then you have deer going counterclockwise in circles in another country. What is this combination? What's going on?
Is that an 8? Infinity?
That's infinity, yes.
A humble one.
But
Mhm.
you know, you have tumblers
Mm.
on the lock. And if you hit the right combination, it opens. Now you're really looking at what these animals are doing. You have crocodiles and whales and fish leaving the ocean
Mhm.
and on the beach. You have animals that don't even be together, running in one direction from out of the forest. What have they seen? What are they looking at?
Mhm.
What's running them? Why are they afraid? And why are they moving away from the lowlands into the highlands?
Mhm.
Usually animals tell you of things to come
Mhm.
because they feel it and see it and know it before we do.
Yeah, instinctively.
Their connection.
We've known dogs to bark before somebody walk up to the house.
All of that.
That's a good
It's
sign.
that-
Get out there again, because my question is the same. And so if you all are going to answer it now, you have a little bit more information. Is this the end times or the time of the end? I already know that every end is a new beginning.
Right.
So I'm not going to go there yet with that
Mhm.
part. I just want to see if you all understand it. And I want to know, in what way do you understand it if you do believe that it is the end time?
Well, I can only say when you say understand, emphasis on
Understand.
no emphasis on under, no overstanding, because I believe that we know not what we believe to know. We know something. We know at times just enough to persevere. Yah, or the Creator, Most High, will appoint certain people to know things in messengers to experience life a different type of way. And this is where yes, we do have false prophets and we have people that are delving into a prophetic experience and being able to see the world in a certain experience that others aren't. I must say I'm one of the people that I get to see the world in certain ways that I have not seen other people tap into. But all that said, we all have our individual experience. And for me to say I understand, I emphasis on under. only under, because there's so much I'm learning about, to be able to know and be in the know when it's time. But we have to tap in so can be able to hear and know how to move. Hopefully we know how to move when it's time, if it's in our lifetime. That's the other thing, but it kind of feels like,
I'm glad you said that.
Mhm,
Because, see, we
mhm.
can be in the time of the end,
mhm,
but we don't know how long that will be.
right, right,
And that's
It
what I
could
would
be
say.
ever ending. You
right,
see what I'm saying?
right.
Because I'm sure someone, when times changed in other years,
Mhm,
they felt like, oh man, we in the last days. I mean,
mhm.
I'm sure
I've heard it more than
I've heard that people say that a long time
Mhm,
ago. So,
mhm.
so that's how I think that
Yes.
we could. I mean, we seeing some stuff, but things have changed. A lot of people saw some stuff that they had not ever seen before.
Mhm, mhm.
I work at this high school. We had a young man teaching us some STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math.
Mhm.
And he was talking about the astronauts and that there's other life in space and
Mhm.
different things. And some of the stuff, because I really don't know, never really read it,
Mhm.
kind of don't believe it. But when people start talking, you kind of start thinking, I guess it
I wanna
could
share
be,
something.
it could be.
Mhm.
And when he was talking, he was saying, who are we to think that it's only us?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Mhm.
You
Big
know,
universe.
I mean, even when
in a
you,
big universe, because when he talked about all the things that's out there, all the stuff that's in space and the black hole and all of that
Earth,
stuff,
they talk about inner Earths and all types of
Right.
different, and
Yeah.
when we think about when we look at the sea and how that is, it's like you already see an alien like creatures, but it's really just not of.
this aliens.
But then again, us as well, like it's deep, it's deep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad that she mentioned that because yes, we are seeing a lot of this pop on television, but that people are looking to do more space travel to find different atmospheres to dwell in. It's like, okay, well, what do they know or what are they trying to do? And then we have so much that's showing that it's some type of time that we're living in that things are getting is crucial and it's critical. Even the threats of nuclear war and I have the stuff ringing in my head when I was younger and I would hear them say that man was going to be who took man out, and so much more. And it's like, you get all these things. It's like a puzzle pieces that you try to, get to figure out this puzzle of life that is really intricate. And that's how I look at life. I'm getting puzzle pieces. I've done 1,500 piece puzzles, just knowing that was it's a spiritual experience because you have to believe you can do it first and foremost because you're seeing all of these pieces. How am I going to do this? How are we going to live life?
Do you believe in a hereafter?
So I'm glad you said that. I do, but that's an intricate thing as well.
How about you?
I do.
I believe in the hereafter. Some people, their concept is just heaven
Contemplate.
and hell.
It's not a contemplation. If I was to speak on this, as it's 8 o'clock now.
Yeah, I'm having. That's why he's rocking.
Yeah, as it's already 8 o'clock.
Yeah, he's getting stuff. I already know what's happening.
I'm trying to give him a.
Oh, it is 8 o'clock.
That's what I'm saying. It's 8 o'clock.
Yeah, y'all. This is a
Podcast.
subject I think
But this is our views.
true, and I'm not gonna lie.
You got to be true to
Mhm.
yourself,
Mm.
and I'm like this.
Mm.
I'm just gonna say this.
Mhm.
When I feel sometimes when people ask you these questions,
Mhm.
they're asking from where they feel, and I
Mhm.
feel like sometimes they're looking to see if you're gonna say what I feel.
Oh, that's not.
You think the minister is wondering to try to get me to say something?
No, I truly,
She say that statement, but then it was already talking about how me and the minister is on the same wavelength. Now,
no, I truly want to hear a different viewpoint, a different perspective than mine. I don't want to feel that what I think and
I was saying that it was you.
I want to hear different. Oh, and because we so diverse at this table, I figured I would get a diversified Yes.
Absolutely. And what's great
Yeah.
is that we could
I'll
delve
vote.
into this more in the next episode as well, just throwing that out there. But we still have more to say, but because this is a very intricate subject and it's very important to talk about, y'all, especially right now. So I'm grateful that you posed that question because it's important. We do have to go on a break right now and process, what we said thus far, y'all, because we are living in interesting times. We want to know what you're thinking and how you're feeling because that question you asked, do you believe that we are living in end times? Do you believe that there's a hereafter? These things are important. So we got to go into a break, y'all, and we're coming right back with a little bit more. All right, because we're
Close.
over time.
Are you feeling fatigued and can barely make it through the day without some type of caffeine?
Are you on a journey of healing your body but need a little help?
Then alkaline water is what you really need.
Alkaline water has many benefits. Alkaline water can help restore pH balance in the body. Consuming beverages such as soda and coffee can make your body acidic.
Did you know that too much acid in your body has been linked to an intimate heart disease, obesity, diabetes, autoimmune disease, chronic pain, and other chronic conditions like gout and arthritis?
Those who use alkaline water have reported increased energy levels, clearer skin, reduction in inflammation, better digestion, and many other health benefits. I've used alkaline water for years, and it's been instrumental in sustaining my health when I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis.
Are you ready to take responsibility for your body's health?
If the answer is yes, then our alkaline water is just what you need. Bring your own bottles. It's only $3 for each gallon. To place an order or for more information, you can reach us at 773-846-3091. Thank you in advance for your support.
So much. I'm sending immense love to all my friends and family members that have lost someone currently. The people that I've lost, I'm sending immense love to them in the ether, wherever they are in the universe, in the world. I'm so grateful to be a voice at any point of love, of light, of connection. And because of that, I like to do my original songs, but today, I'd like to do something that we know, and I hope that this does something for y'all. All that said, let's get into it. I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, and just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. 'Cause I don't know what's out there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, and I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. See, I go to the movies and I go downtown, and there's somebody over there telling me, don't hang around. It's been a long time coming, and I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Oh, I think y'all I have one more verse. Okay, look. But what I was gonna say instead of, see, I go to my brothers. Before I was gonna say, my brother pulls me up off of my knees instead of pushes me back down to my knees. Shout out to Miss Victoria for giving me that version. All that said, y'all, I have a show tomorrow. Before we get into this, I have a show tomorrow at Tavern on LaGrange. A lot of y'all know where that is. It starts at 2 p.m. So that's tomorrow. Shout out to Creative Revolution. Y'all know who you are. We love you. All that said, once again, we are at the end of our show, and we want to leave you with these words of wisdom. He that is afraid of doing too much always does too little. And I think it's does too little. He that is afraid of doing too much always does too little. Good night and God bless from the Black View. Peace. Much love, y'all.